Hello everyone, welcome to the Friday edition of This Day. This is November 7th. I'm Michael Taylor. Good to be here in the studio with you. Hope you're enjoying your pre-weekend as we head through Friday and get into Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have a little warm-up. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, we want to talk about what's on today's show. We got a good one for you. This is an important topic, of course, legacy arrangements. These are the folks who actually help you make your arrangements for when you pass on, so you don't have to kind of leave that to your family, right? And them not knowing what you may or may have wanted for your services, for all those things. This is something you can pre-arrange ahead of time and just as a gift to your family when they pass on to help them through that grieving process. So stay tuned for that interview with Bree. And then later in the program, we have Sports Corner. Cole Young going to talk about the NFL, draft deadline, a little bit of the World Series stuff, and all sorts of other things. So let's look forward to that one as well from Cole. Right now, though, let's talk about what we got going on in the community. You got to stay informed here, and we got the holiday tree lighting and toy drive coming up. Can you believe we're already talking about this tree lighting? But here's the most important part of the whole ceremony. Bring an unwrapped children's gift to the Clubhouse One Festival and make sure a kid that is in need this time of year can open something under their tree for the holidays. That's a great way to have that Christmas spirit be passed along to folks who are a little less fortunate than us. So make sure you bring that to the event. It's going to be on December 6th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Going to be lots of fun stuff. Santa's going to be there, cookies, hot cocoa, all the good stuff that you always expect. But make sure you bring that toy. For more information, there's on the screen phone number and email if you need some more information about the event. All right, folks, let's take a look at our temperatures. And they don't feel very holiday tree lighting kind of temperatures for me. 86 on Monday. But we had some warm temperatures. Hopefully be cooler as we get closer to December and the tree lighting. Right now, though, we got some warm temperatures. And it's going to be even warmer as we head towards Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. So really a weird warm up for this time of year, but you know, gotta learn to live with it here in Southern California with our fluctuation temperatures this time of year, but cool overnights at least. Mostly sunny for the rest of the weekend into the weekend. Let's take a look at our sunrise, sunset. Beautiful picture here from Cartagena, Colombia. Thank you, Dennis Harper, for sending us this picture. I love a lot of the buildings, places in the tropics. Beautiful colors on buildings, and it's kind of wild. It's a lot better than some of our kind of blandish kind of colors that we use here. These really pop, you know what I'm saying? All right, sunrise this morning was 6:15. Sunset tonight, 4:53. That's why I'm not in charge of painting my own house, because I would use crazy pictures or crazy colors. All right, let's take a look at how you can send us a picture. We'd love to see that. If you'd like to send us a picture of your house and its colors, I suppose, pets, places, all sorts of things in our community, sunrise, sunset, we'd love to see the pictures. Email us, lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Make sure you include your name, where you took the picture, and we'll use it in our sunrise, sunset segment. Okay, we got one meeting to tell you about. Then when we come back, Bree will be talking to folks from Legacy. Stay with us.
We're Denise and Ann with Legacy Arrangements.
We help families plan ahead for future funeral and cremation pre-arrangements. We represent over 70 mortuaries in the Southern California area.
We know these conversations aren't always easy, but we understand how truly important they really are. We are dedicated to making an uncomfortable conversation as comfortable for you as possible.
By planning today, you're going to lock in today's cost, and you're going to let your family know your future wishes.
It's truly a gift you give your loved ones.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Not an easy topic, but we're going to have this conversation anyway. Here to explain what pre-planning is and why everyone should be doing it. Welcome to the show, Ann Strummer and Denise Landon.
Thank you for having us. Be here.
You're with Legacy Arrangements,
yes.
Right? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us real quick, what is Legacy Arrangements?
Legacy Arrangements is very different than a traditional funeral home. We represent over 70 different mortuaries. Normally, it's just one mortuary, and that's what you offer. You don't have any other options. Mm-hmm. We can offer options everywhere. So if sometimes somebody works in one city, but they're living in another city, so you don't necessarily want to have it in the area you're working. You want to do it back at home. Right. So this opens the door for people to have many, many options.
Right. And like she said, we have 70 mortuaries. So it's not limiting. If somebody even was out in Palm Desert or something like that, and they wanted to be have services back there, we can accommodate. We can accommodate them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what a concept. I hadn't heard of that before. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting some more information. But there seems to be some confusion for viewers, perhaps. What is the difference, maybe you can explain, between pre-planning and burial insurance?
Sure. And it is confusing to people. So if you think about burial insurance is just a lump sum of money. Okay, so let's say $10,000, right? And you take out an insurance policy strictly for your burial, it's 10 grand. A funeral, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now, is going to be far greater than $10,000, okay?
Right.
It also doesn't allow you to make selections. You're not choosing what type of service you want, a cremation versus a full burial casket. You choose your caskets. You don't do any of that with burial insurance. A pre-planning funeral, you're actually selecting the service that you want. You're choosing the urn, you're choosing the casket, you're choosing the flowers. You're giving a plan to your family to guide them as opposed to just a sum of money. It also allows you to freeze the cost because a casket's cost today is going to be far greater 20 years from now.
Right.
Burial insurance has no protection of inflation. It's just a lump sum of money. So the plan is really offering your family a guide and securing the cost of today so they don't have any extra cost when the time comes.
Right, that makes so much sense. We're spending all this time doing estate planning, so this
is under
naturally
the same umbrella.
follows.
Same umbrella.
Same umbrella. And why it matters now is that the cost of living has risen faster. The cost of dying has risen faster than the cost of living by 25%. So
crazy?
to that
Yeah.
point, is $10,000 today is not going to cover, in 20 years or 30 years, going to cover, maybe what you would want. And again, it doesn't secure anything. So
And it
families
just-
still don't know what loved ones still have to make these decisions, and they're going to be in a room for about 3 to 5 hours if they want to look at a plot or a niche or something like that. It's very time consuming, and again, it's the worst day of their life.
Right, absolutely. Try and process so many things. That is not something that they should have on their plate faced with at that moment.
No, and unfortunately, most families don't have conversations about it.
Well, as we opened, it's a tough conversation.
Yeah,
It is tough.
it's a tough conversation to have. So you have no idea what the person wants, and you're sitting in a room having to make decisions immediately.
You mentioned in your show notes that it's a gift to the family members that these arrangements are pre-planned, right?
It's a tremendous gift. I can speak personally for myself. My father passed in 2015, Thor, God of Thunder. And he was LAPD, and my dad was always very much about taking care of his family. So when he got sick, he was on hospice. There's 5 of us. And when he passed, my siblings all looked at me, because this is what I do, to take care of the arrangements. Unbeknownst to us, my stepmother spoke up and said, "Oh, your dad's taken care of." And when I say everything, he had his clothing picked out
Oh my
and in a garment bag in the closet.
Wow.
He had his prayer cards done. He had every detail taken care of. And it makes me want to cry, because I thought, this man took care of his family to his last breath.
Down to that level.
He was not going to make any of us have to deal with any of this. And it truly, truly is an amazing gift.
Wow, wow, wow. So tell us the process. How does one get started?
So the process, the first step is you're going to want to reflect. Do you want a traditional service? Do you want a cremation? You can have a viewing and then still be cremated. Oftentimes people don't know that. You can do a scatter. Even if it's just a cremation take home, you still want to alleviate the stress and the pain. Your family's still going to be grieving, but you can make it so that they don't have to go in and answer questions. We have a pre-planning guide, a complimentary pre-planning guide that we can share with you. And you'll go through it, everything that's needed for the death certificate. You'll answer all those questions. Banks, finances, those types of things. We've both done it. I even wrote a note. There's a section in the back. I wrote a note to my children so that they know exactly how much I love them, what they mean to me. I've talked about our life together and all of that. So it's just a gift for them that on that day, they're still going to be grieving, but they don't have to deal with questions about what I want or what they're going to do with me. It's all taken care of.
It's like your voice. You're leaving your voice, you know, to your
yes,
family.
yes,
So there's no
exactly.
second guessing.
Yes. And we just saw a clip of an in-home visit. Do you find that when you actually do go visit on a one-on-one basis, that people sort of kind of relax into the situation and feel better about doing it after the fact?
I think in-home is more comforting than coming to a mortuary. So I think the preference is to go where the family's comfortable, because you want to relax. And that's Denise and I, our desire is to bring a very difficult conversation, an uncomfortable conversation, to be comfortable.
Right.
And we think about it in the same way you do a life insurance policy, a trust, a will. These are conversations you have with your spouse or your parents, right?
Right.
This is under the same umbrella. It doesn't have to be, you know, that horrible conversation. And we talk about in the notes. Lots of families go, I don't even know how to have a conversation. How do you start the conversation? You just start it.
Just like you started talking about your life insurance or doing a will and trust or power of attorney for healthcare, any of those, this is all under the same umbrella. It's that final piece to the puzzle. And it is, we understand it is uncomfortable, but it's better to have it taken care of than have people guessing, what they want.
We've had families, because we both have worked in the side where death occurred. And we worked with families all the time where someone had passed. And it takes all of the guesswork out, but you'd have someone come in and say, a parent died, and the kids are like, well, we want to take care of, the other parent, but we don't know how to talk to them about it. And I
So
say,
it's great to have the family involved as well.
if it's happening at that time, what happens sometimes with people is we'll have a couple come, and we go through the whole thing with them, and they go, well, I need to go talk to my kids. And I say, be careful, because when you do that, your kids are going to think you're sick and you're dying.
Oh.
You're going to scare them. So I took care of mine and told my children after the fact.
So did I.
I said, it's done, here's where it is, because a lot of times if you talk about it in advance, kids are going to get scared, they're not going to want to talk about it, they're going to say, don't worry about it, and then nothing gets done.
Right. Yeah.
So I caution that.
I could see that. So can you give us the 5 simple steps to
So as I
pre-plan?
was saying, the step 1 is simply reflect. Just know exactly what you want to do. And like I said, even if it's a simple cremation take home, we still have to pick you up, bring you into our care. There's still a process. There's still death certificates that need to be created. There's a lot of different steps to it. It's not just, throw me on the side of the road type of thing, as we hear sometimes, how are you going to get there? So there's still a process, even if it's just a direct cremation take home.
So the first one's reflect. The second one is how to have the conversation, which we just talked about. And the third one?
The third one is you'll meet with us. We can come into your home. As we stated, we can bring in a pre-planning guide, which helps direct you. We can talk about what mortuary, let you know all of the options that we have, the mortuary locations, and really just kind of hone down exactly what you want, and really get a lot of answers. It's usually we can do it in about an hour or so, and then it's done.
Get
and
that
then it's
hard,
done.
hard conversation out of the way.
Well, and that's what I tell people. They're like, well, Dad doesn't want to talk about it. Well, you have the conversation one time, and then you never have to talk about it again. It's done and over with.
It's done.
Yeah. And step 4 is review and fund your plan.
So review and fund is what it says. You're going to review everything you've chosen, right? It's on a policy. So you're going to review the casket, viewing, do you want a viewing, not a viewing, whatever your selections are. And then you fund it, you secure it. So you can secure lots of different ways. Some people just pay it in full, be done with it. But there are payment options. You can put it on a payment plan up to 5 years. if that's going to better fit your budget and you're making monthly payments. And there's ways that you still have protection while you're doing that, and that's going to be another conversation because that's going to be a little more in depth. But that's the time to secure it and be done with it. And then put it in with the other documents you have, your trust, your wills, and everything else, but it's now done.
And then you can share it. But we'll talk about that next time you ladies come back. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
We appreciate being here.
Difficult topic, but I'm glad you were here and brought it to our viewers' awareness.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you back soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann and Denise. You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
"21 years ago, I started Sayless Home Care because I saw a need for a professionally run home care organization in Laguna Woods. I wanted to build on 3 principles. 1, ease for the client. 1 call to Sayless Home Care will put you on the right path. 2, quality. Medicare ranks Sayless among the highest home health and hospice providers in the state. 3, trust. We've been in business for 21 years. Call Sayless and let us show you why we've been in business longer than any other home care company in South Orange County."
Hello and welcome to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and as I promised last week, we have crowned a World Series champion. I'll jump right in. Last week, we left off with the Toronto Blue Jays taking a 3-2 series lead and being just 1 win away from their first World Series title in over 30 years. In Game 6 on Friday night, the Dodgers kept their hopes alive with their backs against the wall. Kike Hernandez turned what might have been a tying 2-run single by Andres Jimenez into the first game-ending left field to second base double play in postseason history, and the Dodgers held on to win, tying the series at 3-3 and forcing a Game 7. In that all-or-nothing championship on the line Game 7, we were treated to an instant classic. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, Bo Bichette hit a 442-foot 3-run home run and launched the Blue Jays out to a quick 3-0 lead. After a few RBIs, the Dodgers cut that lead to 3-2. Before we knew it, at the bottom of the 9th inning, the score was all tied up at 4-4. This was one of those moments where you couldn't script it any better. World Series Game 7, bottom of the 9th inning, bases loaded, tie game. However, pitcher Blake Snell was able to get the Dodgers out of the pinch and avoid giving up any runs as the game went into extra innings for the 2nd time this series. In the 11th inning, Will Smith hit a home run and the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-4 in Game 7 to become the first team to win back-to-back World Series titles since the 1998-2000 New York Yankees, and the first from the National League since the 1975 and 76 Cincinnati Reds. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was named World Series MVP, and rightfully so. Yamamoto capped off one of the best pitching performances in World Series history with 2 2/3 scoreless innings to end Game 7. That came just 1 day after he threw 96 pitches in the Dodgers Game 6 win, and after he pitched a 4-hit complete game in Game 2. This will go down as one of the most dominant performances in World Series history. Here's a weird fun fact. Apparently, all a team needs to win a World Series is a player named Will Smith. After his go-ahead home run in the 11th inning, catcher Will Smith has now won 3 titles with the Dodgers, 2020, 2024, and now 2025. From 2021 to 2023, pitcher Will Smith won titles with the Atlanta Braves, Houston Astros, and Texas Rangers, making 6 straight World Series where a player named Will Smith has won. It's the opposite of the Corey Perry curse in the NHL, as Perry lost 5 out of the last 6 Stanley Cup finals. Anyway, congratulations to Will Smith and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Moving over to the NFL, we're officially more than halfway through the season. It's hard to believe and the weeks have absolutely flown by, but the halfway point means something important has passed, the trade deadline. In the past, the trade deadline has been relatively uneventful, but this year was full of surprises. The Eagles got things underway when they traded with the Miami Dolphins and acquired edge rusher Jalen Phillips in exchange for a 3rd-round pick. Phillips has totaled 26.5 sacks in his 5-year career and will add to Philadelphia's defensive front. The Cowboys then acquired one of the league's top tacklers as they traded for Cincinnati Bengals middle linebacker Logan Wilson. The Bengals received a 7th-round pick in return. The Jacksonville Jaguars then traded away a 4th and 6th round pick to the Las Vegas Raiders in exchange for wide receiver Jacoby Myers. The Jags were in desperate need of a wideout, and Myers has 33 catches for 352 yards so far this season. Then, the major news broke. The Indianapolis Colts made it clear they're making a Super Bowl push as they traded with the New York Jets for defensive back Sauce Gardner. Gardner, one of the game's top cornerbacks, has 3 interceptions and 46 passes defended in 55 games. He's a 2-time first-team All-Pro and won Defensive Rookie of the Year back in 2022. The Colts did have to sacrifice 2 first-round picks and wide receiver A.D. Mitchell, but they boosted their defense and are looking to remain in the top seat in the NFL. The Jets weren't done cleaning house, though. They then traded defensive tackle Quinnen Williams to the Dallas Cowboys in exchange for a first-round pick, second-round pick, and defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. The Cowboys are clearly trying to fill the void left by Micah Parsons, who was traded to the Green Bay Packers before this season started. Speaking of top teams making moves, the Seahawks added to their already high-powered offense when they acquired wide receiver Rashid Shaheed in a deal with the New Orleans Saints. Shaheed has 45 catches for 499 yards and 2 scores this season and is one of the best deep threats in the league. He scored a touchdown of at least 58 yards in all of his 4 seasons. Now, Sam Darnold has another receiver to add to his weapons. Before the trade deadline approached, though, we were treated to some incredible Week 9 games. The Bears and Bengals put on the game of the year, and the Bears scored a last-second touchdown to outlast Cincy 47-42. The Vikings, in J.J. McCarthy's return, upset the division rival Lions 27-24. The Carolina Panthers pulled off an upset of their own, kicking the game-winning field goal as time expired and beat the Green Bay Packers 16-13. The Broncos yet again pulled off another fourth-quarter comeback, erasing an 8-point deficit and kicking another game-winning field goal to beat the Houston Texans 18-15. To close the day, Josh Allen ran for 2 touchdowns and threw for another as the Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs 28-21. It was another electric week in the NFL, however, my picks didn't do so hot yet again. I went just 2-2 last week, bringing me to 23-9 on the year. Let's see if I can keep my losses in the single digits after this week. For Week 10, I'll go with the Colts to bounce back and beat the Falcons, the Ravens to pick up a win over the Vikings, the Panthers to keep it rolling against the division rival Saints, and my upset pick of the week, the Jaguars over the Texans. In the world of college football, the first official playoff rankings were released earlier this week. There aren't a ton of surprises in the top 25 teams, especially in the top 5. With the release of the standings, we also got the first glimpse at the college football playoff bracket. That had a few surprises, as teams like Texas, Oklahoma, Utah, and Miami are currently on the outside looking in, while teams like Memphis are in the picture. However, like I said in previous weeks, this list will change pretty dramatically in the coming weeks. Speaking of college, both men's and women's college basketball tipped off within the past week, and as per usual, they started out with a bang. A top 10 upset helped tip off the opening day of the 2025 women's college basketball season. Number 7 Duke, an Elite 8 team last season, fell 58-52 to number 16 Baylor in the opener of the We Play doubleheader in Paris. Then one of the brightest stars of last season's freshman class, Michaela Blakes, picked up where she left off, leading number 19 Vanderbilt over Cal 75-65. Her 27-point effort in We Play marked her 11th career game of 25 points or more, including 2 50-plus point outings last season. Outside of that, though, all 4 schools from last year's Final Four, UConn, South Carolina, Texas, and UCLA, all won in blowouts. Things were equally as chaotic for men's hoops. Koa Pete's 30-point performance led number 13 Arizona as they upset defending champion and number 3 ranked Florida. Number 20 Auburn narrowly escaped Bethune-Cookman with a 95-90 overtime win with new head coach Steve Pearl's first game. Coming off of their 3rd March Madness appearance in 4 years, Boise State got off to a rough start when they were upset by Hawaii Pacific University, a Division II school, 79-78. If the rest of the season for both men's and women's basketball is half as exciting as the first week was, we're in for a fun year. To end the show, 2 regular seasons, NHL and NBA, are fully underway. In each of these sports, a new record was already set. Washington Capitals star Alex Ovechkin pushed his record total to a new level Wednesday night, scoring against Jordan Binnington of the St. Louis Blues to become the first player in NHL history to reach 900 career goals. The milestone came 2 minutes and 39 seconds into the second period of a 6-1 win. After breaking Wayne Gretzky's career record with his 895th goal back in April, Ovechkin entered this season needing just 3 more to reach 900, and he hit it earlier this week. In the NBA, Los Angeles Lakers guard Luka Doncic is off to the greatest 5-game start in NBA history. In Wednesday's 118-116 win over the San Antonio Spurs, Doncic dropped 35 points, 13 assists, 9 rebounds, 5 steals, and 2 blocks, a stat line never recorded by a Laker in an NBA regular season game ever. On top of that, through his first 5 games, Doncic has recorded 200 points, 55 rebounds, 46 assists, 10 steals, and 3 blocks. He's the first player in league history to average 45-5 to start a season. If he continues playing at this level, he might just have the greatest season in NBA history. With all that said, enjoy all of the NBA, NFL, college football, college basketball, hockey, Formula One, golf, and so much more that this week has to offer. Come right back next Friday for more news, updates, and highlights from all across the sports world. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
At Petwell Clinic, your local fast relief pet care clinic, there's no waiting days for an appointment. Just walk in when your pet needs care. From the moment you arrive, you'll feel our commitment to openness and service excellence. You remain by your pet's side throughout their visit, and all charges are clearly explained, so there are no surprises at checkout. Serving Laguna Woods Village, we are committed to kind and accessible pet care. Petwell Clinic, your most convenient option for quality pet care.
What would it feel like to hear better? Many people are trapped in the isolation of poor hearing and don't realize it. Even people that are wearing other hearing aids. No buttons to push or technology to fear. Artificial intelligence and these products do all the work. Don't settle for less. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Let's talk about movies for today and tomorrow. We got a good one, an important one for today. It is a documentary called Fed Up, and it's brought to us by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. It's an examination of America's obesity epidemic and the food industry's role in aggravating it. And it was a pretty famous one when it came out, and it's definitely one to watch. It's called Fed Up. Then on Saturday, a little change of pace, a little more comedy involved. And this is one that's called The Wonder Boys, with Michael Douglas and Tobey Maguire. It came out in 2000. This one's brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. An English professor tries to deal with his wife leaving him, the arrival of his editor, who's been waiting for his book for 7 years, and various other problems that his friends and associates involve him in. It is a fun comedy. I remember seeing it way back when. It's a good one, so make sure you see that one if you're around on Saturday to see that one. All right, let's take a quick check of our weather before we head out. And we got some warm temperatures for us going into the weekend. And it's going to be warming up all the way to Monday. We got temperatures in the mid-70s right now, going to the upper 70s for this weekend. And then 80 degree. We're going to hit a real pop. We're going to have like a 5-7 degree difference on Monday. And then we're going to cool off, if you can call 78 a cool off, on Tuesday as well. But, a little varying temperatures this time of year. You never know. All right, folks, tomorrow on the program, we're going to have folks from Petwell Clinic and Village Music Club in on the program. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.